people today, they tend to argue that they believe that they're spiritual but they're not religious. And I think we've, through our discussion today, I think established that religious or being religious doesn't mean ascribing to a set of dogmatic or unrealistic beliefs. Being religious ultimately is living a principled life and a well lived life, etc., right? Which is all well and good. And what people of today, or the society today, what it does is that it unfortunately, you know, then has a very distorted idea of what spirituality is, right? And it says that, well, spirituality is basically, this inner feeling that I have, or having a connection which is far greater than myself, having a connection with something which transcends, the corporal understanding of life, and um, ascribing to something which is greater than yourself, right? Um, and Islam teaches that, well, yeah, that's true, but the greatest of virtues and the greatest good that you can even come up with and you can think of is God Almighty. And Islam ties salvation, right, to that relationship and that understanding with God, right? And Islam teaches that, well, salvation is based on having a perfect understanding of God, trying to imitate God in all of our affairs, right? And ultimately developing that spiritual connection with Him, where it's no longer a one-way connection, but it's a two-way connection where you actually see Him and experience Him responding to you, right? And helping you progress and get better and better as life goes forth, right? So answering that, I mean, I know it's a long-ended answer, but to fully appreciate and understand this situation, if you were to summarize this all, having listened to this whole explanation, ultimately what Islam will give you is a connection with God which no other religion or worldview is able to provide, because a complete picture of God is not found in any other worldview or religion, right? When you're talking about a complete picture of God, you're talking about His perfect attributes, right? I mean, you can take the example of Christianity, if you will, right? If, in one sense, there's this idea that God is absolutely, He's so just that He's not even able to, forgive mankind, and requires a sacrifice from a child, and this completely distorted belief, which is resulting in millions of people leaving Christianity, right? And Islam teaches completely against this, and provides an explanation on God, that God is pretty much interwoven in the fabric of the universe, right? And, ultimately, this universe is His decree, and the laws of nature ultimately is a design that He has purposely made, for our own progress, etc. So ultimately, what Islam gives us, or what religion, or the religion of Islam gives us, is not only, a set of morals, principles that enable us to live a principled and civilized, well proportioned life, but it takes you one step further, and it takes you to a point where you can, experience a true form of spirituality, right? Which is a connection with the most supreme and absolute good.